got it cut to me.
Get the fuck out of here, bitch!
Le who? The her.
There he is! There's the guy that did it!
Hey! Come here, you! Come here! Look at this genius! Genius!
The man of the hour, the man of the fucking week. Oh my god, dude. He absolutely, you saved us. I think you saved the entire league from another stressful offseason of just thinking, holy, like, she won again. She won again. How do we go? How do we beat her this week? And then she does it again. 2 weeks in a row. 2 years in a row. And I think that's what we were all scared of. We did not want her to win. And I was nervous. She beat Ben, and I was like, dude, you gotta be kidding me. There's no way this is gonna happen again.
The run's happening again.
Here it is, right? Like
it came to a close.
Yeah.
It came to we closed that chapter.
All hail Paul.
Yeah.
Gratitude to you.
It was a a week that was full of a lot of worry and stress and man, no worries right now. No worries.
Dude, I'm so happy to be here, man. New champion.
Buried. Your team got buried. Don't forget that. Don't forget that next year.
Give her that sour taste in her mouth. Every time she goes against you, every time she hears your name, she's gonna be like, "Fuck, he knocked me out," or she wouldn't just care.
I'll give her credit though. She talks a good amount of smack. I refrained because I still got a game to play. I can't get too high right now. But all right. So here's what it is. To me, it's just it's a pretty big win. But seeing your reaction and everyone else's reaction, I'm like, wow, this is what everyone was watching this entire week. They didn't care about the Garza-Massetti matchup. It was everyone, all eyeballs were on this one. And I'm like, I feel like I won something for the entire league.
Yeah, you really did. I think you brought the whole league together. Yeah.
Yeah. 2 years in a row of people, the dudes in the league, actually, some of them actually tinkering their lineups a lot and putting trades out there and dedicating a ton of time to this. And that's all this is. It's just people who put a ton of time in this versus Amy. And it's credit to Amy, honestly. It's impressive
she gets there.
How you show up to draft day, you pick randomly or somewhat randomly, all right, I know this guy, I like this guy, and we're over here studying cheat sheets, listening to podcasts. So there's beauty in what Amy was able to do these past 2 years. But that being said, what we had to go through is why this feels so good.
Yeah.
So good.
Absolutely, dude. I wasn't nervous or anything like that, especially after Herbert's day. I was pretty excited. You had and she started Mike Williams too. At that point, I was like, okay, this he's good. He's set right now. She had 4 points out of her flex. You have 34 from Herbert, as your starter. And she was still
That's a big lead.
She still started Peyton Barber, and she left David Johnson on the bench. I think David Johnson had 23 points. He had over 100 yards receiving and 11 catches.
Yeah, I think a normal fantasy manager would probably throw David Johnson back in there. I don't know if there was confusion about the injury, but Peyton Barber being out there. I mean, what was the reason for that? We'll never know. Maybe she was, riding high off that 5.8 the prior week.
I think she just doesn't care, I guess.
But now, I'll shout my team out. They showed up, man. Ayuk, Diggs, Kelsey, Jefferson, Herbert, the running backs. That's a little worrisome going into next week.
Yeah, so for everyone listening, the final score was Paul 155.5, Amy 107.3. So, like he said earlier, he buried her. Put her in a grave, dude.
Yeah, that's a mercy rule right there. where do you want to go from here? Are you ready?
Well, so like you had said, let's start. Let's dive into your lineup. Your championship week. You're going against Gars. We've been saying it since we started this thing. Gars is the best team, and now both of you in the championship. The stars are now aligned. What are you worried about? And you said your running backs. Let's hear it.
Yeah, well, definitely worried about my running backs first and foremost, right? I've been asking you what you think about waivers. Tony Pollard's out there. Like you said, you can't expect another 30-point game from him, but I just need volume. And J.K. Dobbins is the next guy up for me.
I like that.
But the past 3 weeks, he's touchdown dependent. He's topping out between 13 to 15 points. Past 3 weeks, he has a touchdown in every game. What if luck isn't on his side? Gus Edwards, Mark Ingram gets those goal line work. That turns into a 7-point game in the championship for me. Mm-hmm. So I think his ceiling is capped. He's an exciting player, but his ceiling is capped in fantasy, which makes me look at Pollard and say, okay, I'm rolling out Miles Sanders by default because I just don't have any options. And Pollard is in the same game as Miles Sanders. And usually you don't want to start both running backs in the same game. But this is the Cowboys versus Eagles. We just saw what the Eagles did in Arizona. I think these games are going to be a little bit high scoring. And maybe the Eagles are up. They run the ball. Sanders, he's primarily a running type of back. He's not really a pass catcher, so that works well. And then if Pollard is playing catch up, maybe he gets a lot of screen work. So if I can get him off waivers, I think he's going into my running back spot.
Yeah. I think one thing that you did mention, J.K. Dobbins, he seems to be getting more and more involved. Just the volume itself is not there. 11 carries against Dallas, 13 against Cleveland, 14 against Jacksonville. I see what you're saying, that he's touchdown dependent, but I think the transition already happened. I think he's the running back 1. Gus Edwards is the running back 2. Mark Ingram was a healthy scratch. They just sat him. So it wasn't injury related. He's got the Giants this week. It's a home game. I like the play at J.K. Dobbins as a running back too. I really do. I like Miles Sanders as well. One thing, here it is again with Miles Sanders and Doug Peterson's play calling.
Inconsistent.
Involved in the first half, 5 carries the rest of the game. So that's something that that is what I would be more worried about. I'd be more worried about. But you can't sit Sanders, like you said. You just made the argument. Sanders is not someone you can sit right now.
Ceiling. He's got the ceiling.
Yeah, exactly. We saw it against the New Orleans Saints, one of the best defenses in the NFL, and he went off. Steelers, one of the best defenses in the NFL, went off. He had those big gains. So you can't sit Sanders. That's a gimme. You have to play Sanders, and I like Dobbins. Honestly, I don't think that you can sit Dobbins. I don't think that Tony Pollard is going to have the same game that he had last week. I think you're going to be chasing points. J.K. Dobbins fell into the end zone 3 weeks in a row. So
it just depends what roster I'm trying to put out there, right?
Yeah, if you get him on your team, absolutely. I'm not saying don't make the claim for Pollard. Get him on your team, but J.K. Dobbins is someone I still feel comfortable with starting.
The thing I like it really comes down to who I'm playing, right? And I'm, I hope I don't regret saying this, but if I was playing Amy again, I would probably start J.K. Dobbins because, like you said, everything you said is correct. He's getting goal line work. He's had 4 touchdowns in his last 4 games. He is the true lead back there. But how many times is he losing rushing yards because Lamar Jackson decides to scramble? Main point, if I'm playing someone I know I have a good chance to beat with a safe lineup, then I would play JK. However, I look at who I'm up against this week, and I need that ceiling best case scenario or anything closest to that for anyone in my lineup, not only running backs. So I look at Pollard. He got 6 receptions. I don't know how many targets last week. Dobbins isn't getting 6, receptions in any game. So I really think if I'm going off of the process that got me here, it's starting these pass catching running backs like Mike Davis, these weekly fill-ins I've been able to roll out there. I just look at Henry and Montgomery and I'm like, I have to somehow figure out how No, like really, like what gives me a better chance to match their points, right? I'm assuming conservatively they're both going to put up 20.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Henry could put up 40 by himself.
Yeah.
Dobbins can get me 15 of that 40, if they're both getting 20. But I think Pollard might be able to get me closer to 20, 25. I don't know. Well, I do know. I do know that's what I'm going to do.
Well, it's also, you have to also monitor the health of Zeke. Even if Zeke they could say he's playing, and then they say he's going to get a 30% workload, so he's going to take away carries from him. So
what is the news on that? I sincerely don't know.
I'm not sure either. The last I checked is that Zeke he's not 100%. He hasn't been 100% since Dak went down. So even when he's healthy, he's just not 100%. But they still are giving him the workload.
It's an easy decision if Zeke's out there. I'm not playing Pollard.
Yeah.
If he is in the lineup, I am not playing Pollard. The only reason I would play Pollard is if Zeke is completely ruled out.
Yeah.
Because I'll take Dobbins, right? Like you said, I'll take that. What about another guy on waivers? I'm not touching the Rams backfield without Cam Akers, but Le'Veon Bell, he just came off of 15 carries against the Saints defense, a touchdown. He's probably just as high of a ceiling as Dobbins here. Right?
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. We don't know what I think. Clyde Edwards-Helaire is not playing this week. I don't know if did you see that injury? Like he went, dude. That was gross, man.
I was pretty bad. I was on Twitter and it sounded like it was like a hip injury, but like
dude, got bent. He got bent, like tackled in a pile, twisted in a way where it looked horrible. Yeah, it was not good. So I can't see him playing this week.
They got Atlanta.
They're at Atlanta. So Atlanta has a good. I know it doesn't seem like it, but they do have a good run defense. They put Leonard Fournette. He had 2 touchdowns because all he had to do was walk a yard and he's in. You know what I mean? So I wouldn't fall into that trap either.
Yeah.
I think you could pick him up, try to take him away from guards. Maybe guards are going to try to make a move. I think you should probably look into that because that's the other thing you got to look into now. How can I take away players? Yeah, roster defense.
I'm already doing it. So look, do I think any of these people, running back wise, he would pick up and start over his current running backs? No, but I'm just getting them in case. So I'm getting Pollard if I can, getting Lev. I got a waiver claim in for him. I did these a few hours ago, and then this is the one that actually might be a defense. Is I'm trying to get the Bears defense because he has whoever his defense is, they're playing
Colts.
Pittsburgh this week.
He's got the Colts defense, yeah.
He'll probably roll them out, but on the off chance he doesn't, I was looking at who's on waivers and who could he possibly start. And I think the bias he has right now, and this is totally no evidence of him actually doing this, but the bias he has now is I think the Bears are going to have a good game. Dave Montgomery's going to kill the Jaguars. So therefore, if I were to replace the defense, I'd probably go with the Bears. So I'm trying to drop the Rams. I won't start the Bears because I have the Browns. But I don't even feel confident in the Browns. I know they're getting the Jets, but the Jets just freaking beat the Rams. Defense is just a mess this year. There's not that one team you roll out and expect 20 from.
Are the Jets traveling to Cleveland or are they home?
It's in New York.
What about Chicago? What's that game? Is Chicago traveling to Jacksonville or is Jacksonville coming up to Chicago?
I'll tell you in a second. The Bears game is in Jacksonville.
Oof.
The 2 road defenses. I know, you really want a home defense.
Yeah.
Only other options right now are the Texans against Cincy.
No.
At home. I'm not trusting the Texans in championship week.
Nope.
Cardinals. Oh, this might be interesting. The Cardinals at home against, who's the home team here? The 49ers or the Cardinals in Arizona?
Yeah, that's a good point, actually.
I think this might be an interesting play because Mullins, I don't think is playing, is he?
No, I think it was a shoulder injury that he had. But Mullins turns the ball over. C.J. Beathard is...
He does, more than Beathard, yeah.
Yeah, he was in the lineup. I think he had 5 for 7 for 102 and a touchdown. The touchdown was a Hail Mary. DFS, dude, I played Kendrick Bourne, so I didn't win any money, but when he got that Hail Mary pass, I was like, yo, there it is I'm saved, but unfortunately I didn't win anything else.
I would love to talk about that today, but
Might have to
stay on topic.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, so Cardinals defense. I understand what you mean with the Bears defense. Like that's a little bit of a risk. You got burned by them. I think you played them like 2 weeks, right? 2 weeks in a row that you played them and they burned you.
I played them at least 1 week, and it was not memorable in any way.
Yeah, so I would still feel confident. I don't feel confident in the Browns defense. I'm not. I didn't watch the Monday night game, but I didn't. You know, it was 20-6, so it must not have been that good of a game in general. But they were. I don't know if they even had any turnovers.
They had Colt McCoy and.
Colt McCoy played, not even Daniel Jones. I thought Daniel Jones was in.
He was in at some point. McCoy, I think.
Okay.
You can see I'm brimming with knowledge of Week 16 football, 15 football. There's some good defenses out there, like good matchups. Like, so who's going to start for Washington this week? Alex Smith. Well, you got the Panthers on waivers. At the Bucks, I mean, they got 9, or they got 2 against Atlanta.
Who do they have the Bucks this week? I think they have a good Detroit, I think. Yeah. That might be an okay play. I think I would feel if I were to rank them, I think I would go Bears, Bucks, and then I would say Browns. I don't see a lot of the Browns over the past 4 weeks. Like they had they had 3 games where they scored 13 or more points. 13 in week 3, 14 in week 5. And then 21 in week 11. Then it's -1, 3, 2, and 7. That's not going to win you a game. I know the Bucks have looked bad, but I would feel a little bit more comfortable with the Bucks. But honestly, I think I'm rolling with the Bears. The Bears, the Jags have the number 1 pick now, right? They're gonna land Trevor Lawrence. There's absolutely no way that coaching staff is going to say, like, yo, dude, we need to win this game, guys. We have to win. We need to throw the ball all over the place. Like, if they do throw the ball all over the place, Cam Robinson's the left tackle for the Jaguars. He is horrible. He is one of the lowest rated tackles to Pro Football Focus. He's not good. And they have a decision to make. Now, do they try to win a worthless game against the Bear, to ruin their playoff chances? No, you have a generational talent at quarterback.
It's handed to you. You completely lucked into this.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and so when I was drafting defenses, I was looking. I had the Baltimore Ravens defense in my league, and I saw the championship schedule, and I saw Jacksonville, and I was like, yes. This is what I needed. This is the team that I want. If it's me, I'm rolling out the Bears. I would feel confident and comfortable rolling out the Bears defense.
And I think that has some correlation to his lineup, right? Like, if Montgomery does really well, I can get a piece of that game, and it doesn't hurt me that much. So, yeah, I mean, I just have the Browns in here, and I'm just like, I'm not going to bet on this defense to get it done. They haven't gotten it done all year. And the Jets, the Jets could go out and try to lose, but it does not matter. Like, the tiebreaker is
it goes to the Jaguars. Yeah.
So whatever Adam Gase is thinking, like, his team might actually go out and win again. And I'm just like, it's not going to be part of that. As far as the rest of my lineup, I think that's pretty much. What do you think about my decision to start Hurts over Herbert?
So look, man, I obviously I've been on Carson Wentz's side this whole debacle, but I can't deny that Hurts is playing very, very well. The one thing that I'm concerned about is a division game. Hurts took a lot of hits this past week against the Cardinals. The Cardinals are not known for their pass rush.
Thank you, Matt Pryor, first of all.
So he's going to be going against DeMarcus Lawrence. DeMarcus Lawrence has had a quiet season this year, but he's going against a third-string right tackle.
To Pittsburgh, man. Yeah, these divisional games that mean nothing mean everything, and it does mean something.
And I think Hurts is I think they're going to throw blitzes at him this week. I think he's going to get hit, and personally, that concerns me. I'm worried about that. but he does give you. He's coming off a 343 pass yard, 3 touchdowns, 1 rushing touchdown. That's a great
how do you
game.
bench a guy like that?
Yeah, but you also
Herbert's
have
safe. Yeah.
Herbert, that dude's balling, man. 31 points. Like, okay, so 3 weeks he was in a little bit of a rough. He's got Denver this week. What did Josh Allen just do to Denver? Josh Allen had 42 points. It's incredible. And we've seen it where, look, Keenan Allen, that screwed me up. I rolled the dice. I played Keenan Allen in my championship game.
What? But you can't do this to me.
You know how much I sacrifice?
A thing that I was worried about myself is if I'm going to play Herbert when Keenan Allen's hurt, Mike Williams is going to be on a limit. Yeah, and I was scared, and I was like, holy crap, like, am I going to roll the dice here? I did, and it worked.
He elevated everybody around him.
Exactly. So, I mean, even the point that I'm trying to make here, the weapons that Herbert has doesn't matter. The dude's just balling out. Like, I think he's the favorite to win Offensive Rookie of the Year, but Jalen Hurts against that Cowboys defense that, their secondary is horrible. So, I mean, that's going to be a tough decision. I think if you really want to be ballsy and look, this is your championship game. Do you want to play it safe or do you want to step up to the big boy table and say I'm gonna fucking do this? This guy gives me the best shot.
I think I'd rather go down with Hurts because it's just I like the guy and it's really it's really a small difference if one of them does better than the other. Mm-hmm. I think they're both in that I could see both of them getting in that 30-point range this week. The thing with Hurts that I like is, I mean, this is a big game for him personally. He's a Texas kid.
That's true.
Born and raised from Houston. He takes real pride in that. I think he gets back in that stadium under those lights, and I think he balls out. And is he going to probably put up, the 41 points he did last week? No, but I'll take what he's doing in the run game that Herbert isn't doing, which is another running back essentially in my lineup. He's had 18 for 106 2 weeks ago, 11 for 60 this past week and a touchdown. So I mean, like you said, the Carson Wentz and Hurts situation aside, you can't deny this guy he's good for fantasy. He's probably going to be he's already in the top 5 rankings for QBs this week. It's happening so fast.
It's rising up.
People are buying in, and I think I'm just gonna roll with it because look, like we all said at the beginning of this, the championship in my mind was already won when I beat Amy.
Who do you think you are? I am.
So this is all gravy. We're just gonna roll out who we like, and whatever happens, whatever. I can't do anything.
When I was 15 years old, I lost my mother and my father in the same month, Ronnie. Same month. 12 brothers and sisters. I was the youngest one, but they were all looking up to me. Now, I wasn't ready yet either, but they needed me. Your team needs you tonight. You're the colonel. You're going to command your troops tonight. You understand?
Yeah.
You could try to plan your lineup perfectly, and Logan Thomas will still explode for 11 and 120 or whatever it was. So
yeah,
that just goes to show, you never know. But right now, I'm projected to lose by a couple points. And what do you think about his lineup? Is there anything if you were Gars you'd be worried about?
Keenan Allen's probably the one thing that I would say that I'm worried about the most. The one thing that I did notice, at least on Red Zone in the beginning of the games, Deshaun Watson looked bad. And then all of a sudden, in the beginning of the game, Deshaun Watson looked, I was like, damn, dude, Gars looks vulnerable here. This is where everyone can step up. And then Deshaun Watson did Deshaun Watson things. I would say Keenan Allen's probably the riskiest. That's the guy that I would be worried about the most if I'm Gars. It's not like he doesn't have a choice or a pivot option though. He's got a good talent roster, but he got burned by DK Metcalf probably. I don't see that you can roll DK Metcalf out there. Robbie Anderson, James Robinson. I mean, if he wants to get gutsy, he could throw Robinson in his flex, switch out Allen for Thielen, and then roll with that. But I don't. I think he's going to go for the upside of the PPR and get as many receivers in there as he can. So
yeah, and I like seeing Thielen in there because like my Jefferson, for every score that Jefferson gets or every catch takes away from Thielen.
Yeah,
and
that's
what
a
has
good point.
Thielen done these past 2 weeks? 3 for 39, 0 touchdowns. 2 for 11 and a touchdown.
Mm.
Like, I'm all good. Like, I think I would put Metcalf out there. Like, I know it's risky with what he did against the Rams. I can't say I would, honestly. Ramsey's just too good.
Yeah, Ramsey.
Thielen, at least.
He's
We
talented.
got a Friday night game for that Vikings-Saints matchup.
Which I'm not a fan of. I like they're trying to
Is
push
that every
this.
season they do this, or is this new?
No, it's they're this Prime Video thing that they're just trying to push. That this is the new
Pilot,
way to watch
yeah.
football. Like Prime, you a Prime member? Like, you know, we're gonna go down a tangent there. But I'm not a big fan of that. Before we
Question for you:
oh, go ahead. Yeah.
Is Mariota starting this week for the Raiders? Because if he is, I'm worried.
I don't know if you watched the game, but Derek Carr got it was bad. I don't see how Derek Carr can play this week.
I turned it on just as okay.
I don't see
Then I'm
Derek Carr
worried.
playing this week. Yeah, Darren Waller. Who do the Raiders have this week anyway? They don't think they have
They have a tough
anybody.
matchup, Miami. Like, I mean, Kelsey kind of went off against Miami though.
Yeah.
They're kind of in that same tier. And you know, backup QBs, they love their tight ends. So I'm hoping for a wash at that position. I'd be happy with a wash between the both of them.
Well, I mean, you have the number 1 tight end. He's got the number 2 tight end. So it's not like, you know, you're
Yeah.
playing a risk that in that aspect where this guy could potentially get more. You have a guy that's going to compete. You have a Kelsey. He's got a Waller. Like, you're both equal in that sense. So I see what you're saying because backup quarterbacks love the tight end position.
I think Kelsey's got a safer floor. Like,
yeah, I do too.
You know,
Darren Waller
yeah.
had some disappearing acts. He's done that, and
Yeah.
so you know, you never know what's going to happen with that. So I see what your concern is, but it's not like you're rolling out a guy like Herb Smith, like what I did.
Good old Irv.
Dude, did you see he dropped a touchdown? It hit him in the hands. Easy peasy.
Yeah,
Touchdown at second, like the second quarter. They're about to go into halftime. Kirk Cousins rolls out, throws it, 5-yard pass. It hits him in the hands and he drops it. Now, it wasn't going to win me my matchup, but I would have put me pretty damn close. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, championship game, I roll out Keenan Allen. I know that there was a risk in doing that. I was nervous in the fact that I didn't want to not play him.
You don't want to lose because you didn't play Keenan Allen.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I rolled him out. That burned me at 2 points. I made the swap between Logan Thomas and Irv Smith. I did not like Dwayne Haskins starting at quarterback. I thought that was going to take targets away from everybody, essentially, all Washington's offense. And, you know, Irv Smith had 6 points. Logan Thomas has 23. I make that play, I win my matchup. So
that would have been like the most contrarian play. Like,
yeah, it would
go against everything that you would make a decision to, like every other decision you make in fantasy. It's like, why would I play Logan Thomas if I choose not to play my receivers when they have a backup in or whatever? So
yeah, one of the other thing that hurt, Devontae Adams had his worst game of the year. Like, and it wasn't even like he got hurt or anything like that. Like, didn't see targets. But, oh my God, 7 catches, 42 yards. Of all the times you get Aaron Jones involved,
I know.
it had to be this week. You know what I mean?
It's the Panthers. It's really not like it's not like the Legion of Boom. Like,
all I can do right now is put on a brave face and go out there and be their leader.
It's over.
Like,
dude, that crushed me. I was checking like every single time. I'm like looking at the updates. I see a couple catches. I'm like, he's got to break one here. Like at some point, his 8th catch is going to be a 60-yard touchdown. And no, it didn't happen. And yeah, I got knocked out. I was losing. You know, I made a couple switches. I played Raheem Mostert. I went against my gut on that. I had Jeff Wilson in there. I was ready to play Jeff Wilson. I was really wanting to play.
Hobble off.
Yeah. Dude, Raheem Mostert looked great. Like, he had a good game, and then
that's the story of Raheem Mostert.
Yeah.
He's undraftable.
Oh my god, dude, it's tough.
At his draft position next year, like, you can't.
Yeah, like, he has to drop down his value. You can't trust him. He's gonna get hurt.
No.
And yeah,
I think I think it's like your biggest takeaway after what happened this past championship. Like, when players are coming back from injury, it might be a good option to play someone who's fully healthy.
Yeah, I mean, I think that would be. I mean, look, I was pissed that I didn't play Kareem Hunt. Raheem Mostert and Jeff Wilson outscored Kareem Hunt. So if I did that move, I would have been. I would be singing a different tune right now. So that would have been just as upsetting. I was probably going to be looking to chase points, but no. To what you said, yeah. I mean, guys that are injured, but they're still designated to play. I know there's a risk, but right now I got burned twice by two guys. I got burned by Raheem Mostert. I got burned by Keenan Allen. Like, I know that these guys are really talented players, but now I'm leaning 70-30, 70% of me saying bench them, don't play him, pivot somewhere else. 30% is saying, like, yo, dude, this is still a talented player. You never know what can happen. So, yeah, I mean, there was a lot of different things going on in my head that game.
It's hard. It's hard. Because they're the reason you got there. And, well, not so much Mostert, but... Like, Keenan Allen,
that was a hell of a trade that I did with that.
It was. He got you there. And it was kind of what I'm thinking when I say, like, Diggs sounds like he's going to be fine. Keenan was, like, probably 10 times more, like, doubtful going into that game as, like, because Diggs is kind of like hush-hush, like, he's fine. But I'm very worried. Like, that first play of the game, he could just run in a weird way and will be on the sideline. And but I mean, you could say that about any player in our lineup. It's all you know. We're all exposed to it. So at the end of the day, you got to put the lineup that gives you the most confidence out there. And I think that's like what the championship really comes down to, and why I'm gonna play like guys like Hurts and. You just got to go down with your guys. That's my final thought. Just go down with your dudes.
Go down with your dudes. Well, man, I'm excited for you. You're in the championship game again.
We'll check back in.
Yeah, we'll check back in. Absolutely. Dude, I'm just like, this is such a good feeling. Amy's out. I'm just so excited about that. We're gonna have a new champion. That's a good thing. The league stays alive. So.
We're bringing it back to the males of the group, and we can't lose.
Yeah,
can't lose.
Can't lose now.